What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Friday, March 21st, 2025, and I have an emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now it is 17:11 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Ukraine and from Israel. But before I get into that, I want to mention some very concerning news coming out of the U.S. So officials at Offutt Air Base in Omaha, Nebraska, home of U.S. Strategic Command, responsible for our nuclear forces, sent a notice out on yesterday, that the base will be conducting the largest and most intensive military exercise in its history from March 31st through April 4th, okay? So in just about a week, Offutt Air Base, home of U.S. Strategic Command, which is responsible for our nuclear forces, will be conducting its largest and most intensive exercise ever, okay? So that is very, very concerning, and it means that we are getting really close to nuclear war and World War III, and the U.S. is preparing for that. And last night, the Ukrainians struck two major gas pipelines in Russia. They hit the Suja gas pipeline, and then they also hit a pipeline in Krasnodar region. Specifically, they hit the CPC pumping station, and Ukraine used drones in these attacks. Now, the Suja gas pipeline actually sends gas into Europe. That's how Hungary and Slovakia get their natural gas. They get it through the Suja pipeline in the Kursk region, which is currently partially occupied by the Ukrainians. And the Russians have surrounded the Ukrainians there. Well, the Ukrainians just hit the major gas pipeline there last night, and all of this happening just a day after the Ukrainians destroyed a major ammunition storage depot at Engels Air Base in Russia, which is home to Russia's nuclear bombers. Russia has 4 nuclear bomber bases. They have Engels, Ukrainka, Balaya, and Olenya. So the Ukrainians hit one out of those 4 bases 2 nights ago and destroyed all the ammunition that was stored there. I'm assuming it was conventional ammunition. And then they also struck the fuel storage at Engels as well, okay? So Ukraine launching very serious strikes on Russia the past couple of days, and they also hit Crimea with drones as well 2 or 3 nights ago, okay? And all of this is happening just a few days after Trump and Putin had their phone call, when Putin said that he ordered his military to stop striking Ukraine's energy and infrastructure targets. Well, he's still striking them. And Russia also launched a massive drone attack on Odessa yesterday, and most of the drones were hitting residential buildings and shopping malls and energy infrastructure. So a massive strike on Odessa. And today, drones are striking the Ukrainian city of Zaporizhia. Apparently, the Russians are targeting residential buildings again. And just in the last hour, the Houthis launched another ballistic missile at Israel. It was shot down by Israel's missile defense system. And guys, the Houthis are getting these missiles from Iran. Iran is supplying the Houthis with these ballistic missiles. There's no doubt about it, okay? There's no way that the Houthis are able to build long-range ballistic missiles, okay? That would be like the Taliban, building ICBMs. It's just not going to happen, okay? So Trump knows this, and he threatened to strike Iran. There's going to be strategic level meetings between Israel and the U.S. in the coming days about Iran. So we also know that Trump said that any Houthi attacks on Israel or U.S. ships in the Red Sea will be treated as Iranian attacks, okay? And here we have some footage of the Ukrainian drone attack on the Suja pipeline, okay? You can see this massive fireball here, absolutely insane. And then here we have footage coming from Krasnodar. This is the other pipeline that the Ukrainians hit last night. Look at that. That is absolutely insane. Okay, huge fireball up on the horizon there. And then here we have footage coming from Odessa after the massive drone attack by Russia. You can see all these fires raging throughout the city. And again, residential targets were hit, mostly residential civilian targets, okay? Residential buildings and shopping centers were targeted. And then here we have some footage coming out of Zaporizhia. Apparently one person was killed already. You can see this massive kaboom, okay, from a Russian drone. Okay, so these are not small drones, guys. These are large drones the size of small planes, and they carry hundreds of pounds of explosive material. Okay, so it's like the equivalent of a missile. All right, when you hear the word drone, it doesn't sound as bad as a missile attack, but these drones are, for all intents and purposes, basically like a missile. Okay, so the devastation is the same as a missile strike. We had a lot of reconnaissance in Eastern Europe last night. Here you can see 2 private recon planes in Romania and Poland. Also, there was a Polish reconnaissance plane patrolling the border of Ukraine. We had a U.S. reconnaissance plane fly into Eastern Europe. We also had a Russian doomsday plane airborne. And right now, this afternoon, we have a U.S. Cobra Ball plane up in the air, which is a missile detecting and tracking plane, and it was looping in North Dakota. Earlier this afternoon, we also have a nuclear war command and control plane up in the air over the panhandle of Texas. These planes are responsible for remotely launching all of our Minuteman III ICBMs, and they can also communicate with our submerged nuclear-armed submarines. And we actually currently have another nuclear war command and control plane that just took off from Offutt Air Base. So something could go down tonight. I'm going to be on high alert. I'll be in the live stream monitoring everything live. Okay, so tune into the live stream later on tonight. And right now we have 2/3 of Ukraine lit up under an air raid alert. So very, very tense times around the world. And U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said on Wednesday that President Trump will order military action against Iran if necessary to prevent them from getting nuclear weapons, okay? So I think it's coming, guys. It's coming very soon, especially with the Houthis launching missiles at Israel now. This is the 3rd missile attack on Israel in the last 2 days, okay? And the Houthis claim that they attacked escort vessels accompanying the USS Harry Truman in the Red Sea a few days ago. And there's massive protests in Turkey right now. Tens of thousands of people are demonstrating against the Turkish President Erdogan. And this update was sponsored by EMP Shield. Guys, EMP Shield has created a special discount just for you, the listeners of the NYPrepper channel. If you go to empshield.com and use the promo code NYPrepper, you can get 15% off your entire order. And why do you need an EMP shield? Well, this is a special device to protect your vehicle, your RV, your solar generators, your radios from an electromagnetic pulse, which could be caused by a solar flare or potentially a rogue country like North Korea detonating an electromagnetic pulse weapon over the United States that's mounted onto a satellite. So protect your vehicles, protect your RV, protect your radios, protect your generators with an EMP shield. Use my promo code NYPrepper to get 15% off. Installation is super simple. This is a veteran-owned business, 100% American-made, and the EMP shields have been tested by the military, okay? And free shipping is included to the entire continental United States. And the link and the promo code are in the description below this video. And NATO plans to ask European allies and Canada to increase their stocks of weaponry and equipment by around 30% in the next few years, according to a senior alliance official. Wow. Okay, so they're going to increase their weapon stocks by 30%, guys. You don't do that unless you're preparing for war, okay? And we know that France is going to be reopening this nuclear fighter bomber base on the border of Germany, and they're going to station 2 fighter bomber squadrons with French nuclear weapons there. Okay, this base hasn't been open since the Cold War. It hasn't had nuclear weapons there since the Cold War, so this is very serious. We know that Macron wants to create mechanisms for mobilizing the French society in the event of a war. Poland just told their people to make sure they have at least 3 days of food and water and supplies. And Poland just started putting anti-personnel mines along their border with Russia and Belarus. So guys, get prepared. Things are really spiraling out of control. And the U.S. seeks to renegotiate the mineral deal with Ukraine, aiming to include the Russian-controlled Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant as part of a broader economic deal. And Swedish lawmakers approved the deployment of 8 Gripen fighter jets to Poland from May 1st to August 31st as part of a NATO mission to supposedly oversee military aid transfers to Ukraine. Up to 150 Swedish personnel, including pilots and ground staff, will be stationed in Poland. So guys, that's just the cover. They're moving those fighter jets to Poland because they're expecting an attack on Poland from Belarus and Russia. And the New York Times reported yesterday that Elon Musk would receive top secret Pentagon briefings on U.S. war plans against China, raising concerns over conflicts of interest, given his extensive business ties to both the U.S. military and China, officials say. And Emmanuel Macron is actively exploring alternatives to putting European boots on the ground in Ukraine as part of a peacekeeping force. And the Russian Security Council Secretary Sergei Shoigu, former Secretary of Defense of Russia, arrived in North Korea yesterday for talks. And London's Heathrow Airport has been closed since yesterday after a massive fire at an electrical substation nearby, causing widespread power outages. And we're hearing right now that Sky News said that counterterrorism police are involved in the investigation into the fire at the North Hyde substation. Apparently, a number of departments are part of the investigation. Okay, so the UK is investigating this as a potential terror attack. Very, very interesting. It could have been Russian sleeper agents, guys, and I believe we're going to see stuff like that here in the US. And Maria Zakharova issued a warning to Germany, saying that Germany's aspiring Chancellor Friedrich Merz called for preparing for confrontation with Russia in the coming years. She said Russia would respond firmly to any militaristic ambitions that threaten its security. And want to just show you guys some footage coming out of Turkey. You can see all of these protesters here, okay, in Turkey, protesting against Erdogan. Massive protests in multiple cities across Turkey, okay? And Trump unveiled the 6th generation fighter jet that would replace the F-22 today. It's going to be called the F-47. Trump said it would have state-of-the-art stealth technologies, making it virtually unseeable, and fly alongside multiple autonomous drone wingmen known as collaborative combat aircraft. So this is very new. Okay, so this F-47 is going to have a group of drones, as many drones as they would want, flying with the F-47, helping it in different ways. Okay, that is pretty crazy, and that's like something out of a sci-fi movie. So I want to actually just play a clip from the press briefing at the Oval Office today, where Trump and Pete Hegseth were talking about this new F-47.
Say a few words.
Sure. Well, Mr. President, this is a big day. This is a big day for our warfighters. This is a big day for our country, a big day in the world. The name of this program is the Next Generation of Air Dominance. And Mr. President, because of your leadership, your clarity, America is going to have generations in the future of air dominance because of this sixth generation fighter. We've had the F-15, we have had the F-16, the F-18, the F-22, the F-35. Now we have the F-47, which sends a very direct, clear message to our allies that we're not going anywhere, and to our enemies that we will be able to project power around the globe unimpeded for generations to come. Mr. President, this is a gift to my kids and your kids, to my grandkids and your grandkids. This is a historic investment in the American military, in the American industrial base, in American industry that will help revive the warrior ethos inside our military, which we're doing, rebuild our military, which the previous administration did not do, by the way, Mr. President. They paused this program, and we're prepared to potentially scrap it. We know this is cheaper, longer range, and more stealthy. President Trump said we're reviving it, and we're doing it. And then we are also going to reestablish deterrence. Under the previous administration, we looked like fools. Not anymore. President Trump has reestablished American leadership. The F-47 is part of it. And Mr. President, thank you for having the courage to do it and leading the way for all our warfighters.
Thank you very much, Pete. One of the things I will say, but the generals are going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want, and it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want, and that's something that no other plane can do. So I'd like to introduce, if I might, Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin, and also General Dale White, two incredible people that I've known over the years.
So there's a picture of the F-47, okay, and very interesting what he was saying, that this is going to fly with as many drones as they want.
Generals are going to speak in just a couple of seconds, but this plane flies with drones. It flies with many, many drones, as many as you want, and it's a technology that's new, but it doesn't fly by itself. It flies with many drones, as many as we want, and that's something that no other plane can do. So
very, very interesting. But that's the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back later on tonight, possibly with more breaking news, and I will be monitoring the situation live tonight. So tune into the live stream. Make sure you download my app in the Google Play Store. It's free. The link is in the description below this video. It lets me send out notifications directly to your phone when things are breaking, and also when I post these videos and when I go live. Also follow me on Telegram, X, and Rumble. I post most of my updates over there, so if you follow me there, you'll never miss an update. And all the links are in the description below this video. And until the next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere. And this update was sponsored by NYPrepper Supply. Guys, NYPrepper Supply is doing a massive sale on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnYprepper.com, and the link is in the description below this video. They're selling their 3-month emergency food supply for just $600, so that's $100 off the normal price. And this is 3 months of food at 2,000 calories per day, has a shelf life of up to 25 years, and all of this is packed into 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. And they're also offering a disaster replacement warranty, so if your food supply gets destroyed by a natural disaster, they'll replace it for you with no charge. And they also will provide you with free survival books and information, including a natural disaster field guide, a survival Bible digital copy. So use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get $100 off the NYPrepper Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video.